The background story again continue on the platform of Parliament of Religions. The Parliament of Religion was an adjunct of World's Columbian Exposition, which was held in Chicago in 1893 to celebrate the 400th anniversary of the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. Some of the declared objectives of the Parliament were to present the important truths held and taught in common by different religions of the world, and to bring the nations of the earth into a more friendly relationship. But many thought and hoped that the Parliament would prove the superiority of their own religion over the others. However, through divine dispensation, as it were, the validity of all religions ultimately became the keynote of the Parliament, and Swami Vivekananda became the most impressive and eloquent mouthpiece of that central theme. The first session of the Parliament was held on Monday, 11 September 1893. In the spacious hall of the Art Institute. Its huge galleries were packed with more than 4,000 people, men and women, representing the best culture of the United States. Representatives of all organized religions, Buddhism, Christianity, Confucianism, Hinduism, Jainism, Judaism, Mohammedanism, Shintoism, Theism, Brahmo Samaj, and Zoroastrianism were there, and among them was Swami Vivekananda, wrapped in silent prayer, attracting the attention of the audience by his commanding presence. The Parliament opened with a prayer, after which the chairman, Reverend J.H. Barrows, introduced the delegates one by one, who then read their prepared speeches. But Swamiji had no such written speech with him, and he had never before addressed such a huge assembly. He did not speak in the morning session, but went on postponing the summons from the chair. In the afternoon, when he could no longer put off his turn, he stepped up to rostrum, his face glowing like fire. Inwardly bowing down to Devi Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, he began to speak. No sooner had he addressed the assembly as sisters and brothers of America than a wave of enthusiasm went through the audience. They rose to their feet with shouts of applause as if they had gone mad. Everyone was cheering and cheering. The Swamiji was bewildered. For 2 full minutes he attempted to speak, but the wild enthusiasm of the audience would not allow it. Others had addressed them in the customary manner, but Swamiji had touched the deepest chord of their heart by discarding formality and stressing the kinship of all people. After the applause subsided, the Swami made a brief speech. When Swamiji had finished and sat down, exhausted with emotion, there was another tremendous ovation. The next day, all the papers personalized him as the greatest figure and the best speaker of the Parliament. The unknown young monk became known throughout the United States of America. His life-size portraits were posted on the roadside in Chicago with his name written beneath it, and many showed reverence to it with bowed heads. In his speeches at the parliament, Swamiji stressed again and again the idea of validity of all religions and their harmony. Every religion, he pointed out, has produced men and women of most exalted character, endowed with holiness, purity, and charity. This vindicated the validity of each of them. He therefore appealed to every person to persevere his or her individuality and at the same time to learn and assimilate the good points, the spirits of others' religions. Another idea that Swamiji forcefully championed at the parliament was that man is only apparently a mortal body or a mind but is really a divine soul, a spirit, pure and immortal, the master of matter and mind. Swamiji pointed out that the goal of human life is to become divine by manifesting his divinity through our every thought and actions. Herein lies the solution to all the problems, individual or collective. We shall now present the soul-stirring lectures of Swamiji in his own words. Next day, thank you. Next day, thank you.